Welcome to another episode of Women in Focus. Our Women in Focus today is from Maharashtra. So it's always nice to meet people who are from different parts of India. When I first came here, all the names that I would hear would be Punjabi, like my name. But lately, I've been hearing names that are different and are from all parts of India. And one such beautiful name that I got to meet was Mithila Karnik. And right away I knew that she was not Punjabi. And I said to her, I'd love to meet and talk to you about your life. So let's meet Mithila. Mithila, you're most welcome in our program. How are you doing?
I am so well, and I'm so excited to be here, Shushma. It's just, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to talking with you. Yeah.
So, Mithila, first of all, what an amazing name. It has a huge history, the
Yes.
name has, doesn't
Yes,
it?
it
Do you
does.
know the history of your name?
I do know the history of
Just
my
give
name.
us a little bit of that.
Yes, so Mithila is the city in which Sita was born.
Yes.
And she is, our quintessential princess of Hindu mythology.
Yes.
And I was born on Ram Navami. So the
Wow.
reason, so back then when I was born, way back, my mom wanted to have a name that kind of resonated with the importance of the day. And I have a cousin, Vaidehi, Vaidehi is another name for Sita. So she's like,
Yes.
okay, we can't have something that's, similar or whatnot, so why don't I name her after the city that Sita was born in?
Isn't
so
that
Mithila.
beautiful?
Yeah.
And so in India, probably because all the names are so elaborate
Yeah.
and beautiful, nobody had any problem in pronouncing your name.
In India, no.
No.
Over here, it's a whole different story altogether.
Have they given you a new name?
My gosh, they call me Matilda,
Uh,
Mithila.
yeah.
It is so hard to get that me right. And
Right.
I get it. It's, the limitations of phonics and whatnot.
And also,
so.
our language is phonetic and
Yeah.
English isn't.
Exactly.
And when we
Yeah.
do our names, we do it phonetically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that probably
It is.
is wrong.
Yes. So the enunciation bit is very hard, and I get that, but, it is what it is.
So, Mithila, growing up in the city of Sita, what a beautiful way to explain that, eh?
Yes.
So as a child, what was your interest? Because your interest now is totally different,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So
I was an absolute padhaku. Yes, yes. So I was very, very academically inclined. Like my growing up years, I preferred books over anything else. I was sporty. I was, I knew I had to do it to get that good report card. So I played all the sports. I did my due diligence, but I preferred the company of books, which is what I still do. And I was, there was this constant need or just this desire to, get that first rank. And it was, when you look at it in hindsight, I just realized what a different child I was to what I see in my daughter now.
Yeah.
Even. But yes, I got my high percentage at the SSC board, the secondary school certificate board. And then for some reason, when I entered college, I realized that there's a whole world outside of books.
and so let me interrupt you.
Yeah.
The type of books that you
Yeah.
read, they were not your class, whatever.
No.
Outside books,
Outside
like
of, yes.
fiction,
Yes.
non-fiction.
I didn't read a lot of non-fiction growing up, but I was big on all of the big fiction that was out there. So, when I was really young, I used to love The Babysitter's Club,
Right.
Sweet Valley Twins. I've read Tinkle, oh my gosh, Tinkle, Champak, you name it. And I had like hordes and hordes and hordes of all of those editions. And then,
Right.
of course, the Harry Potter
Yeah.
craze happened. So I caught on to that. And then, it is completely ongoing. So
Languages wise,
Yeah.
then you speak Marathi at home
Yes.
and then English at
Yes.
school. And what other languages are you able to speak?
Marathi, Hindi, I understand Konkani, I understand Punjabi. I learned Sanskrit. I can't say I'm conversational in it, but my control over the language while I'm reading it or, teaching some shlokas to my daughter is really, really good. So I learned
very
Sanskrit
nice.
all the way up until grade 10.
Wow.
French, conversational. Again, I can survive and find my way around. And then English, the very tail end.
So you're fluent in many, many languages.
Yes, yeah.
And I think that comes from reading
Yeah.
books. How many in your family? What number are you?
I'm the only daughter.
You're the only
Yeah,
child?
I'm the only daughter.
Only daughter?
Yes, only daughter. I have a half brother
Okay.
from my mother's second marriage. And he's, how old is he now? My gosh, there's a big difference between us. He's 21.
Uh-huh.
He is in Arizona. He just graduated from a civil engineering program.
Wow.
And he's working in Arizona now. And I just literally visited him back in spring when he graduated. So, yeah.
I want to ask you a little bit more about your childhood.
Yes.
And just saying my mother's second marriage,
Yeah.
I never heard that before.
Yeah.
So we've got to find that out.
Yes, absolutely.
So let's go back and,
Yeah.
and find out about your childhood
Yes.
and your mom and dad.
I was in a city called, I was in rather a town called Dadar
Right.
in Mumbai.
Yes.
And growing up, I think up until the time I turned about 6 or 7 years old, we were in our ancestral home,
Okay.
which had about 4 floors, and every floor was a sibling. So my
Okay.
dad's first cousins and all of those.
Oh, okay.
So I've grown up in the company of cousins.
Yeah.
And then, the way it goes in big joint families, you kind of go your separate ways.
Yes.
So that happened to us, but the cousin factor always stayed. And just about the time I turned about 13 or 14, my parents decided to go their separate ways.
Okay.
So they separated, and then my mom moved out of home, and I shuttled between my mom and my dad.
Right.
And to their credit, I had a fantastic relationship with
both
of them. And with the extended families on either sides.
Yeah.
But I spent a lot of time with my mom's mom, my grandmom. Simply because it was, the idyllic summer vacation,
Yes.
right? I shared a very, very deep bond with my mama,
Yeah.
with my nana nani.
Yeah.
And, they had a big home out in this place called Goregaon.
Yeah.
They had, dogs and just a big backyard and whatnot. So it was beautiful.
So summer was the most...
Summer, yes,
Yeah.
most anticipated. And, you didn't need to go out of the city. You could just, I could
Yeah.
just go to my grandparents, and it felt like a whole new world every summer.
Wow.
So that was there. And then my dad passed away in 2016, just around the time my husband and I arrived in Canada as permanent residents. But about a decade before that, my mom met somebody amazing, and she remarried. And I have a fantastic relationship with my stepdad, with my half brother.
Right.
It's just,
Isn't that just
it's
beautiful?
family at the end of the day,
Beautiful.
right? So yeah, that's me.
So you mentioned that you came to Canada in 2016
Yes.
with your husband.
Yeah.
And that's another story.
Yes.
How did you meet him?
Oh yes, absolutely. And this is such a funny story. I mean, if you don't believe in destiny, then this will probably, change your mind a little bit. So in Dadar, my husband and I have grown up literally 2 lanes away
from each other. No
so
kidding.
he used to live at the back of this really famous temple called Siddhivinayak,
Yeah.
and I used to live at the front of it.
Oh, wow.
And we have never met. We have an insane number of friends in common.
Wow.
Like my best friend from the past few years, and his best friend from the past few years or so, or literally just growing up, they got married to each other. And we've always kind of, heard, oh, there's somebody called Karan and there's somebody called Mithila, but our paths have never crossed.
No.
Never crossed up until 2014. So he was studying in Canada. So because he was a hospitality student,
Right.
he has worked in the Marriotts and the Tajes all over India.
Okay.
Which is why he was never in Dadar.
Right.
Which is why we never met. But then in 2014, he came back home to Mumbai. to take a bit of break from his studying and, you know, just kind of figure out the next steps forward, how to go about kind of coming back to Canada,
Right.
on what visa and whatnot. And around that time, the friends that we had in common, they said, oh, you guys really need to meet. We feel like you will hit it off.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was 27 years
Yeah.
old at that time. My mom was, you know, just asking me, like, what's going
Kya
on?
baat hai? Why
Kya
aren't you
baat
getting
hai?
married?
Do
Yeah.
you want to even get married?
Yeah.
And, you know, up until that point, my career was so amazing, for the
Yeah.
lack of a better word, and so self-satisfying,
Right.
that marriage was nowhere, you know, in my plans or whatever. I said, I am traveling the world. I want to have a good time. When that will happen, it'll happen.
Yeah.
And but our friends kind of kept, you know, saying, oh, you really got to meet him. He's here now. Why don't you just go meet him? I said, okay, fine, we'll do that. And we met, and we really hit it off. And we met in June of 2014. We were engaged by November of 2014 and married by February of 2015. So
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
So when you were working,
yeah.
so I'm going to take you back a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
So what made you go into the field that you're in, which is, you know, the futuristic field?
Absolutely, yeah. And that, you know, again, is that has happened much later. When I went to college, I realized that, yes, words, you know, books and everything are very, very interesting to me. I don't want to go, I don't want to take science. I had very close friends at that time who wanted to be doctors, and that was my initial plan, you know, either
be a doctor,
do something in the field of medicine or genetics or something. But I saw their struggle, and it was really hard. You spend years and years and years
to become
just
a doctor, yes.
studying,
Yeah.
and it's very complicated. In a state like Maharashtra, I'm not sure about the other states, I don't have much information, but it's, you know, you get placed in rural areas and whatnot.
For your practicum and all
for
that.
your practicum, it's a
Yeah.
very, very hard life, and I am proud of, you know, everything that they go
Yeah.
in terms of struggle to actually be that. And I flipped at that point. I said, no, I don't think I want that. I
So
feel
no
like
sciences.
no sciences. As I've studied all my life, I want to figure out what else can I be good at.
Right.
So I took arts and broke everybody's hearts in my family. But it was just amazing because it was a natural fit for
you.
you know, the kind of person that I feel I've grown up to be now, where I feel I'm very electrified by people's company. I want to be able to, you know, talk and make connections
Right.
and just build relationships. And I feel like that's been a natural kind of path in that direction. So I ended up studying film and TV studies and English literature.
Okay.
So I did my master's in both of these. I was in the United Kingdom doing my master's. I got a job at the marketing department of a big cinema chain out in London. And then I got, we all got the pink slip because it was the year 2008. The markets
Oh.
crashed. The whole world was in a state of recession.
Recession, yes.
So the first few people who essentially got laid off were the ones who had just been hired. And I decided not to continue staying in the United Kingdom. So I came back home, and taking my background, you know, film and TV studies
Yeah.
into account, I started reaching out to production houses to see what kind of jobs would be there. And I ended up getting a job in one of India's premier model management agencies called Elite.
Yes.
And I was a model booker, which means you are essentially pitching your artists and getting them work in the industry. And from there, my career took off to being an artist manager and a celebrity publicist. And I did that for close to 12 years before
Wow.
I moved to Canada.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So you've lived a life on totally different
Yes.
levels of intellect and work.
Yeah, completely.
So Mithila, meeting and promoting
Yeah.
stars. How many stars did you meet?
Pretty much everybody there is.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like it was literally the most exciting time of my life. You know, like with every job, there are some things that don't go well. There
No.
are those. But I feel like with my job, apart from having the things that didn't work so well, a majority of it was just a life-changing experience. It is probably a great job to have in your 20s because it makes you so footloose and fancy-free. You know,
Yes.
you're able to see the world but you're also at the mercy of whatever schedules dictate your life. So there
That's
is
right.
very little family time, there's very little time with friends.
Right.
But it's a small compromise, it's a small price to
Yeah,
pay
to
for
pay.
how it shapes just your world vision and your ability to be around so many different people, and it's exciting.
And they are all different.
They're all different.
Yeah.
They're all different. I mean, the stars that you feel might be the friendliest are
Yeah.
often almost not.
Yes.
And the stars that you feel are, you know, probably going to give you a hard time or what
Yeah.
just turn out to be absolute sweethearts. So, yeah.
So I'm going to bring you back to the gentleman that you married, Karan.
Yes, yeah.
And so both of you hit it off,
Yeah.
and then mom and dad were happy about the.
Yeah, they were happy about it. Yeah.
And then
yeah.
mom must be saying, "Phew, thank
Thank God. Absolutely, yes. She was like, okay, my problems are over.
Yeah. So then you got married in India,
Yes, we got married in India.
and
yeah.
was he at that time based here in Canada?
No, he wasn't. So we then decided to apply for a permanent residency simply because the combined application, you know, would give us more points
Yes.
and whatnot. And it was really smooth for
Yeah.
us. We got a smooth application in a span of less than a year.
Yeah.
We knew that we were coming here, and by 2016 we were here.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then finding a job here. That wasn't very good.
It was probably, I mean, the easier it was for us to get here,
Yeah.
the harder it was for me to find a job
Yeah.
and to find space for myself. I felt like, I think that was probably, you know, the darkest time of my life. I'd also lost my father, and that probably, you know, compounded the effect of everything not going right. I think I was approaching the whole job situation with something that has changed for me over the years. It was just, I want to say now, more of an attitude problem, which is, you know, you come here and you say, okay, this is what I worked for 12 years.
I want to be in that field.
I want to be in that, I want to be at that level more
Yeah.
so. And Canada tells you, nope, sorry, whatever you've accomplished so far
Is
does not
nothing.
work for us.
Zero.
It's zero. So you start from scratch.
Wow.
And that to me, it took so much out of me to, you know, kind of become one with that status quo, or, you know, this is exactly how it's supposed to be. And while all of this was happening, you know, I was kind of jumping from job to job until I found a good one. You know, about 2 years in 2018, I started working for Vancouver Film School. And around that time, I also started doing a lot of volunteer work in the community, simply because I wanted to fit in. And I figured the best way to fit in is to understand how your immediate environment works.
Very good.
And volunteering, you know, I don't think it comes very naturally to Indians, because it's not something that we have been taught to do
No.
growing up.
No.
It's not something that you even do in schools.
Yes.
Or, you know, even families for that matter. I feel, I bear no shame in saying that there was no concept of volunteering in my family. Like,
No.
you know, why would you go out and
Give your
spend
time
your
for
time?
nothing. Yeah.
But here, I found that it really is such a valuable concept to understand the role that you play in your immediate community. And for me, it led to me understanding how this country works and what are the values that, you know, have been created for Canadians. And, you know, how do you grow up then kind of being one? Because I knew at one point in time I'm going to have a family and my daughter will be Canadian. So, you know, how should that environment be then shaped for her? And I found, you know, it's such a cliche, but I found a great joy in being able to be out there, spending time.
Lovely.
Yeah, and I started really, really small. Like, we adopted a spot in our neighborhood that we are still responsible for going and cleaning. And initially it used to be me, then it was me and my husband, then it was me and my husband and my dog, and now it's me and my daughter. So it's like an activity for us to, you know, kind of go
ahead and
out
do
and
that.
do. And apart from then me just doing my regular day job, just a whole bunch of things started happening. I felt then that at that point, when I felt ready to embrace my time in Canada and I let go of my struggles, is when life really started happening.
You even
For me.
ran for office.
I did. I ran for city council in
Yeah.
2022. Yeah.
And I wanted you to do that again.
I feel like I might, but you know, my husband and I, it just comes up in random conversation, but we haven't really sat down and discussed it. And I think that's going to be an end of the year
Discussion again.
conversation, discussion, yes.
Now, you've changed from the film board. And
Yes, yeah.
now you're working for a...
I'm working for a not-for-profit called DigiBC.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
and what do they do?
So DigiBC sits at the nexus of advocating for the creative tech sector in the province of BC. So their work revolves around studios within creative tech, schools that specialize in creative tech programs, and then just making the growth of the creative tech sector very favorable to the next generation of tech talent. So the work is really around the video game industry, animation, XR, AI, all of these really cool, amazing things. Yeah.
And so that field is going to grow wider and wider.
Absolutely.
And so you're in a field which is the next generation, really.
100%. And there's no stopping it. That growth is unparalleled. And it really, you know, is so encouraging to see the work that DigiBC does is so closely tied in to just making opportunity for everybody involved in creative tech.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, Mithila, you have led a beautiful life, and you're going to lead even a better life because your attitude has changed.
Yeah.
The viewpoint and broader horizons for you.
Yeah.
And I wish you all the best. And I'm so glad that you and I connected.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I completely agree. It has changed. And it's just, I feel like it's changing and evolving every day. And that helps me show up better as a mother, as a wife, and then, you know, in the bigger scheme of things, as somebody who is in the community. So, yeah.
Thank you for being our Woman in Focus today.
Thank you so much, Sushma.